What's going on, everybody? It's me, Severin7, and today we're going to be playing some Orzhov Knights. We've got some pretty sweet knights like me, and me, and me! Where are you guys all coming from? Let's get into the deck, I guess? Alright, here we are, Knights for Hire, an Orzhov Knights list, and we're doing things a little differently today because we're playing some best of 3 instead of best of 1. Now, typically I would play 30 games with a best of 1 deck, so for best of 3 we're going to play 15 matches. That could end up being more than 30 games altogether if we end up playing all 3 games in some matches, but you have to win or lose 2 games per match, so 15 times 2 is 30, so it still ends up being 30 games minimum, so it's still a very good gauge of whether or not the deck is good. At the time of recording, we're currently 7-0 with this list, so let's get into it. We've got 3 copies of Bo3, Tomorrow's Champion, just because he's a solid 1-mana 2/1 and he happens to be a knight. But it's nice sometimes to be able to exert him and make those lifelink cat tokens if we have to, or in the late game if we're mana flooded and we want to draw him and we want to cycle looking for something more impactful. We can do that. Cecil Dark Knight has been an absolute all-star in this list. It's a 1-mana 2/3 with Death Touch, and then whenever he deals damage we lose that much life, and then if we have less than half our life total, half or less, it flips into a 4/4 with lifelink, and whenever that creature attacks, other attacking creatures gain indestructible till end of turn. So a very solid card. He's not in the deck specifically to flip, so it's not like we're just like we need to flip Cecil as fast as possible. He's just a really solid 1-drop. It's a 1-drop 2/3 Death Touch, so he's hard to block. Like, most people don't want to block this creature, and if they do, then we trade. It becomes a cut down, basically. So in my opinion, totally fine, because we are running Sheltered by Ghost and Alinda, Saint of Dusk, as life gain, and there's also some life gain on battle menu as well. So we can, sometimes we just slap a Sheltered by Ghost on Cecil and it negates his ability, but that's not the whole reason we're playing it. So if you do happen to flip him, though, he's very good. So it's really solid, and we have ways to rebuild after we flip him as well. So I really like Cecil a lot. As far as other new cards go, we're also playing 2 copies of Judge Master Gabranth, because it's just a solid 2/2 menace that grows anytime our creatures or anything die. If our opponent happens to get lost something and we use our map tokens, we can kind of double up on those with Magister Gabranth. And it's just a really solid card. But a lot of times it's one of our flex slots that we tend to side out. Knight of Dusk Shadow, same thing. It's in there just to help with those every once in a while, the decks that have a lot of life gain, and we want to stop that because we're an aggro deck, so we don't want our opponents gaining a ton of life. Battle Menu has been such a fun card. I'm really enjoying this card. It's very versatile. It makes a knight. It can protect a knight with the ability. It can destroy a creature with power 4 or greater, which most of our little knights can destroy smaller things anyway. And we can also gain 4 life with it in a pinch against those mono red decks when we just need those couple extra points of life to survive a turn and win on the following turn. And then as far as like our really strong 2-drops are still Knight of Malice and Knight of Grace. Now I know these are in Foundation, so I know my Knights of Malice are from Dominaria, but these are in Foundation, so they're not rotating. But these are so good. They're 2/2 first strikes with hexproof from white and hexproof from black, so these can there are whole decks that can't deal with one or the other of these. But it's also nice because the first strike is really good, and if you have another creature that's the other color, or your opponent is playing those colors, they get a bonus of +1/+0, so they're basically 3/2 first strikers. And a lot of people forget that first strike can double up, and we're running 8 first strikers in here, so we can block and destroy bigger creatures. Our opponents a lot of times don't think about that when they're making their decisions to attack, and they're also just fantastic attackers because a lot of times our opponents just can't profitably block these because of the first strike. Then you start slapping Sheltered by Ghosts on them and things like that, and it just gets really out of hand really quickly. We're also playing Dion Bahamut's Dominant. Now this card has blown my mind. I've been super impressed with it. I really like it. You wouldn't think just giving all your stuff flying would be super good, but it really is. It's fantastic. So Dion is a 3/3. When he enters, we get a 2/2. So for 4 mana, we get 5/5 worth of stats, but he also gives all of our knights flying during our turn. So it's a lot more than that. It's very strong for 4 mana. To make 2 bodies and give everything flying for 4 mana is very good. And then as far as the sideboard goes, we've got cut downs so that we have additional removal against small creatures. This is really good against VV and just other problematic creatures like Unstoppable Slasher, things like that. We've got 2 copies of Duress, and instead of going like 3 or 4 Duress, I went 2 Duress and 2 Invasion of Gobakon. Since a lot of the decks that we would want to be playing Duress against, we also kind of like the ability of Invasion of Gobakon. Invasion of Gobakon steals something, makes it cost 2 more to cast, and then if we can flip the battle, it's sort of like Virtue of Loyalty mixed with a hexproof and indestructible protection spell. So it's really solid. We're also playing some Dawn's Truce to help deal with board clears, because things like Day of Judgment and Deadly Cover-Up are pretty popular right now, as well as people really liking Ultima, since it destroys all creatures and artifacts. So having some Dawn's Truce in here can be really helpful. Requisition Raid is a sideboard card I think a lot of white, like, creature-based decks are missing right now, and this card is just so good in this meta. It deals with Corey Steelcutter. It's really good against, like, the enchantment decks, things like that, and it can also put counters on all our stuff, which can be absolutely huge. And then 3 copies of Rest in Peace to deal with the Omni decks, the Reanimator decks, Una Reanimator, all that stuff. So very solid sideboard options, and the deck is just really good. So like I said, we're 7-0 with the list. We're going to put it through another 8 matches to get to 15 and see where we land. So with that, let's get into the games. All right, nighttime against Shoegib. That sounds kind of like Shoepuff. Ride the Shoepuff? Not today, we're not riding any Shoepuffs. This is a lot of lands. But I mean, Knight of Malice into Shelter by Ghost is pretty good. Is it really worth going to 5? Or 6, I mean. I think we're gonna try it. Sleight of hand. Alright, so most likely is it. Belinda's a nice draw. That gives us something to do with our mana on turn 4 at least. Shivan Reef. Probably debating on playing Cutter or plotting a bird or something. Big decisions, big decisions. Gotta do something, opponent. What you up to? There we go, Thunderclap Trainer. Alright, they did something. And they take a Storm Chaser's talent. Alright. I guess we play Knight of Malice here because it gives us the best attacking power on the following turn. I was considering just playing Virtue of Loyalty at the end of their turn, but Knight of Malice means if he goes Cutter, Storm Chaser's talent, we can block the 2/2 that make... Okay, so this was the better play. Because he can't attack with the 2/2 anymore. And now we can play this Concealed Courtyard and play Sheltered by Ghosts, hitting the Steel Cutter and attacking for 4, which he cannot block favorably. Now he can most likely remove Knight of Malice. Ooh, is this the VV combo deck? Interesting. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of cards, so there is some amount of possibility that we can succeed in just outvaluing him. Olinda can't be targeted by 90% of his removal. And he can't block Knight of Malice here. Even if he bounces the Shelter. So we're at 25 with a life-linking 5/5 that he probably can't target because most of their removal is instant speed. Okay, we are going to lose that, unfortunately. Does he have another spell to go with it? He does not. All right, so now the question is... do I play Knight of Malice? Do I get this tap land out of the way, play Knight of Malice, and then instant speed Virtue of Loyalty? Or do I play the Virtue of Loyalty to untap? I think we're gonna... 2, 3... He can technically block this, but... I think she actually becomes a 10/10 in response. So let's see what he does. I don't think this is going to work how he thinks it is. I think he's going to play an instant thinking it'll... well, no, because he's not blocking with the prowess tokens. Okay, so she's a 10/10 now. If I play this, then he basically can't get through me. He shouldn't be able to deal enough damage to stop me at this point. Agatha's Soul Cauldron. No VV in the yard right now. Kind of don't see why he did that. Oh, I guess just for the sake of making tokens. Still nothing to exile, though. All right, so... go ahead and play Knight of Dust Shadow. And Knight of Malice. Get in with Alinda, gain 11 more life. When it has to block with at least 2 things. That slows him down a bit. The only instance in sorceries he has to get back are Sleight of Hand and Torch the Tower with Storm Chaser's talent. So not anything crazy good there. Up to 41, and then we untap, put counters on everything. Now we have 2 menace attackers. Very confused. Like, it's like he's like, there's no reason to exile his Soul Cauldron. I feel like he's just doing it just to do it. See what he drew. Something that can remove one of these things. Okay. So he can exile that and gain that activated ability to pump a creature up. But I mean, at this point, like, he's gonna have to block really hardcore to survive here. All right, game 2. Okay, what do we do to deal with that? Requisition Raid feels really good. We probably want Cut Down to deal with Vivis and Geralfs. And then things that are a little weaker are probably going to be Elspeth. Knight of Dust Shadow is not doing too much, and neither is Judge Master Gabronth here, so we'll go like that. Them being on the play is going to be a little bit difficult. but hopefully we just draw our cheap removal and our Cecil and all that fun stuff. All right, he or she is ready. I can't tell because they're just a hooded, cloaked figure. Who are they? Such a mystery. Well, we do have Cecil, Knight of Grace, and Get Lost, so this is a reasonable enough hand. And a cut down, very nice. We do have to be careful because Cecil is going to damage us a lot too, but if we play our cards properly, we should be able to possibly flip Cecil at an opportune time. We'll have to see. This version of the deck should be a little bit slower since they're playing more of a combo style. I think we're going to go ahead and get down Knight of Grace. And then that way we can just kind of remove everything he plays and keep getting in. If we ever draw one of our requisition raids, that'll be very helpful for getting rid of Quarry Steel and growing our team as well. So, all right, there's a VV, but thankfully we have the means to remove the VV. So let's play Cavern on Knight. Play Knight of Malice. Cut down the VV. Not that that's helping too much because of Agatha Soul Cauldron, but hopefully we can just beat him down before he can do it. Because he can't play Geralf and Soul Cauldron this turn. And we have removal for Geralf. Keeps one on top. Him playing Geralf means he does probably have the Cauldron in hand. Ooh. I think we get in like this. And then we have lethal with Dion next turn if he doesn't have removal. At this point, we just want to not die. There's another Geralf. Does he have land? Okay. Whew. If he had land Cauldron, that would have sucked. Tap land. All right, we're good. That'll do it. Dion proving his worth. Let's fly! GG. Easy. Is it prowess VV combo thing? Out of here. I'm ready. Babe. Escape. We'll play first. This feels a little slow, but it's not terrible, so we'll keep. Who knows? The Knight of Death Shadow could be really good against whatever they're doing. I want to take some mulligan, and then we do have lots of removal, although it does kind of suck that it's all Get Lost. I don't like running the Get Lost, but we're so susceptible to temporary lockdown that I feel like it's a necessary evil. Mono red, alright. Well, I'm gonna play Knight of Grace instead for the first strike. Looks like the opponent has a shock, though. Or not. Is it again? Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious, great balls of is it. Storm Chaser's talent, sure. Alright, I'm going to play Knight of Death Shadow, which will power up the Knight of Grace, assuming he doesn't have a burn spell. Maybe it's a monstrous rage that he has that was causing a stick on turn one. Because when I played the Knight of Grace originally, and he only had the 1 red mana, there was a stick in it, so it might have been Monstrous Rage. If he Monstrous Rages here, that would make the token have 3 toughness, so Knight of Grace still gets through. The first strike on these guys is so great, and the hexproof that they get from the colors just randomly hoses entire decks sometimes. We do need to draw some more lands to get to this Elspeth eventually. But we do have a lot of removal in hand, so that's very good. Opt. They got options. They keep it on top, so it's probably the land they were looking for. So now they have 2 red available. I don't feel like they have burn spells or they would have used it, so we're probably going to see a Monstrous Rage here, maybe. Yep. Alright, what are the odds that they have a shock? If they have a shock, this is very bad for us. I could just get lost the token, but Sheltered by Ghost would give us some life gain, which would be very helpful. I'm gonna go for it. Okay, no stick, so he doesn't have a shock. That's good. And this way, if he removes the knight, there's nothing for him to get back, but we're still gaining some life, getting us back up there. And Dion should help us just win the game probably outright here in a few minutes. We've got 2 get lost, so we can literally just whatever they play this turn, remove it, attack, remove it again next turn, attack. Like, and if we once we draw a 4th land, we can just go over the top with Dion. Making these Izzet players think today. VV. Alright, well, VV's definitely gotta go, so. And they scoop. Alright. Didn't even have to wait. Alright, so Requisition Raid again, cut down again. Same thing, we'll take out the Elspeths, the Knights, and the Judge Master Gabrants. That's a pretty easy sideboard there. Requisition Raid is in such a good place right now. I feel like not enough people playing white are playing Requisition Raid, just for the fact that it can get rid of multiple permanents in Izzet Prowess right now. Plus grow your team. So for like 4 mana, you can get rid of a Quarry Steelcutter, a talent, and put a bunch of counters on your stuff, which is pretty sweet. All right, game 2 on the draw, so we'll see if we can do the magical thing where we draw our early creatures and removal. Cut down, very good. Virtue's good. We'll keep. Sleight of hand, all right. Well, that's probably the best turn 1 play we could ask for from them. Concealed Courtyard. Quarry Steelcutter, yep. Dion, very good. Another Quarry Steelcutter. It's very bad for us. Wait, do they really not have a second spell? That's really good. In that case, Cavern on Knight. Sheltered by Ghost on one of the Quarry Steelcutters. Get in for 3 and hope that they can't remove this very easily. If they had a 1-mana bounce spell, or even a 1-mana burn spell, they probably would have done it at the end of their last turn. Okay, thankfully that doesn't actually do anything other than remove the ward. So they still don't get their cutter. Alright, so I think I'm going to play Bo3 and Knight of Grace and hold up Cut Down in case he plays Vivi or something. I don't think going shields down against Vivi is a very intelligent play, so let's get in for 1 here. And then next turn we can play Dion and keep up Cut Down, and then Virtue of Loyalty, and should be in good shape. Wow. Opponent is just doing nothing. Well, now I kind of want to play Alenda, but I think we're still playing Dion here. Can't counter it if he did side any counters in. He's got something he can do. I don't know what it is, but there is a stick. Did he just keep a really land-heavy hand, like not wanting to mulligan? I mean, so far he's played 2 cutters, unable to scream and sleight of hand. So I mean, that could have gone very well for him if we hadn't exiled one of the cutters. I mean, this isn't lethal, right? So we're just gonna go ahead and play Alenda. I don't think playing Virtue's helping us a lot. He can't do anything about Alenda, so Alenda gives us... Alenda gives us something he can't move or deal with. Well, I guess he is playing Unable to Scream in his list, so I guess he could have that, but... why is he hesitating so much? I'm desperately trying to figure out what's going on here. Maybe he's just annoyed, so he's just purposely taking his time. But I don't see how we lose this game from here with 3 cards in hand. Alright, yeah, it seems like he's Salty Scoop, but I think it's going to make us wait through another timer still. Oh, that was lethal. Okay. I didn't even count. I was so annoyed that he was roping that I didn't count. GG. Alright, Scipio. Skip to my loody-loo. Skip to my loody-lie. Opponent's going first. I like this hand. Mardu Devotee. Opponent's gonna scry. I wonder what they're doing. Finally get to play with our battle menus. I love this card. Alright, Giada. Ooh. Alright. Alright. Let's get down a Knight of Grace. Battle menu should help us deal with the big angels, but we do need to find some removal for Giada. Another Martyr Devotee. Two on the bottom, so that's good for us. I'm just gonna get in with Giada. Alright, Knight of Malice is a nice draw. That powers up our Knight of Grace. We do need to find some lands so that we can cast Elenda and all that stuff. Looks like they might have a burn spell of some kind. Lauren's Escape, huh? On the bottom. Alright, so we're losing our Knight of Grace. That's fine. He can't target Knight of Malice with any white spells, and it still has the bonus because of the color of his deck, so... You gotta worry about, like, helixes and stuff, or torch the towers. I would really like to draw a land this turn. That is not a land. That is unfortunate. Alright, let's play another Knight of Grace then. Not gonna make the same mistake again, just in case he's got more Lauren's Escapes. Opponent gets in for 2. If we ever draw another land, thank you. Melinda. I'm gonna go ahead and get in, because if he's got Lauren's Escapes, I think I'd rather him use them on Giada than whatever I remove with battle menu. Okay, opponent just takes it. And then if we don't draw a land, Dion should be a really good follow-up. Another Mardu Devotee. He's scrying away, not having the luck he'd like, I don't think. It's protection from instants, but not sorceries or like sheltered by ghosts or anything, so keeps 1 on top, 1 on bottom. Gets in for 2. Does nothing. Alright. Cavern of Souls on Knight. And then I think we play Virtue of Loyalty here. Get in. This kind of puts him in a position where he really has to block something. Alright. Does not block anything. What does he have? Get to untap everything. It's got to be like sheltered by ghost, right? That he kept on top? Ossification, okay. I mean, that makes sense, but it doesn't really help him that much. Lightning Helix. Okay. I mean, now he's like out of cards. Dion Bahamut's Dominant says flying, and now he kind of has the block. Or not. Untappity tap. Aurelia above, and that could just go away with battle menu, so we're not scared of that. Doing the full attack, gaining 3 life, drawing a card. Not relevant though, really. It almost gets us. We're at 2, but we come out of this, unfortunately, for the opponent. Get rid of Aurelia. And get in. GG. Thankfully, the opponent had a pretty... It seems like they kept a really rough hand, in my opinion. So we definitely want some more removal and cut down for dealing with those angels. And then I would probably say that's it. Knight of Dust Shadow is probably good. Judge Magister Bronze can come out. And then I think maybe a Virtue of Loyalty. Go like that. Game 2. Waiting on your opponent. This looks good to me. This looks like a... I think we're just going to play Kays and Cecil and then play Bo3 on the following turn unless we draw an untapped land. Opponent mulligan. Opponent plays Restless Bivouac. Go ahead and get down Cecil. Voice of Victory. Alright, well he can't block this, so... And then we can follow that up with a Sheltered by Ghost. Offset Cecil's ability. Because, believe it or not, we are not trying necessarily to flip Cecil all the time. We do have a decent amount of life gain potential in the deck, so... Interesting. Alright. No block. Well, that's gotta go. Alright, so Shelter by Ghosts on Cecil. Get rid of the Dazzling Angel and get in for 5. And then hopefully we draw an untapped land here. That would be fantastic. Giada, Font of Hope. We do have removal for Giada, thankfully. Opponent gets in with Voice. Land. Sweet. Alright, well, since we have to deal with Giada, we're going to play Knight of Malice. And then get lost on the Giada. Still flips over the Cecil, ironically. So now we've got a 5/4 lifelinker. Opponent's gonna map it up. Lauren's Escape on top. They really gonna keep that? Doesn't feel super helpful. Oh, I guess they keep it so that they can block Cecil. Now they mill it, yeah, okay. It doesn't benefit them to attack. Alright, let's go ahead and play Alinda for some more lifelinky goodness. And let's go ahead and get in with... Honestly, I guess we get in with all of this. I don't really care if, like, he blocks since we get indestructible. No real reason to hold back with Alinda on the board. Opponent's at 3. Cecil's so good, even when we have lifelink. Do they have removal for Cecil? That would be unfortunate, but it wouldn't be the end of the world or anything. Exercise, alright. They do have removal for Cecil. But again, not the end of the world. Because he only gains a little bit of life here. Just block the Voice, take the 2, gain 4. Untapped land, I think, wins us the game. Knight of Dust Shadow is nice. So go ahead and play that. And we'll go ahead and play Knight of Malice. And we attack with all. And unless he has a Lightning Helix, this should be game. Looks like he might have a Lightning Helix. Boros Charm doesn't help. GG. Angels in the outfield. Get out of here, Angels. Boom, rank 2. All right, and we're back for the post-game wrap. So, 15 matches, 73% win rate. Really, really good. We started out 7-0, and then basically kind of went 4-4 from there. But still, 73% over 15 matches. Really, really solid. We had a really good matchup against, is it Corey? Or Prowess, or whatever you want to call it now. 2-0 against the Boros decks, 2-0 against Selesnya, like Unidex, things like that. Golgari, just really, really solid. The games that you saw were the last 3 games that I played, because I had some issues with Untapped not recording stuff for a while. And so I was just having a hard time getting games recorded because the app was not working, so it wasn't tracking my win rate and things like that. So these are I didn't play any games with this while there were issues with Untapped, because I didn't want to taint the win rate. But that was why I was not able to make a video about this sooner. So we did it, like I said, we played 15 matches. So it's kind of like when we do best of one, we do 30 games to prove the deck is good. 15 matches is 30 games or more, depending on how many we have to play all the games in. We had an 80% on the play win rate and a 58% on the draw. But that's more than adequate, considering that, you know, if in best of 3, you definitely get more than one chance to be on the draw, or on the play, I mean. So just really, really good deck. The deck felt amazing. I think the only thing I didn't like is I just, Get Lost felt a little rough sometimes because of the map tokens, but we're really susceptible to temporary lockdowns. So I still feel like Get Lost is a never necessary evil over a black removal spell, for instance. But I mean, I gotta tell you, man, this deck felt really strong. Like, I just felt like I always had a really good start. It had a very consistent uh curve, and I felt like I always had good options. So, and I'm pretty sure that this deck is, I think it's rotation proof. Yeah. Other than the lands, like the Plaza of Heroes goes away, the Caves of Quellos go away, the concealed courtyards are from Outlaws, so they're fine. So just a couple of the lands. Everything else in this deck is rotation proof. So this deck is 100% rotation proof except for a couple lands, and deck can definitely survive without those 6 lands. So uh, definitely safe to craft. It's also not super crazy expensive to craft. There's a decent amount of rares, but it's mostly uncommons and commons. I mean, uh, so definitely worth it. It's worth trying. This is really fun. If you want to play aggro, but you're sick of playing Corey, or you're sick of playing mono red, and you want to do something fun, and you want to play something that's actually good against Izzet Prowess, then I definitely recommend this list. And I hope that you had as much fun watching me play this as I had playing it for you. So with that, I hope you'll take a quick moment to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Every single one of those helps immensely. All my socials are in the description. If you'd like to follow me there, I talk about cards I'm excited about and chat about things, and, just share more about my life and things like that. So it's a great way to connect with me. Also, the Sev Squad Discord is in the description. If you'd like to join the Discord, it's a great way to talk to me directly. I'm very active there, so definitely worth clicking on that. Don't have to be a member or anything, but if you'd like to become a member and join the Sev Squad officially, you do get exclusive benefits within that Discord, as well as access to members only content, and all kinds of other fun little perks. So, uh, thank you so much for checking out this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.